Welcome to In the Middle. I'm Vykky. I'm a wife, a mom, and a leader shaping some of the world's most beloved brands. This is the podcast for all of us figuring it out in real time. In 20 minutes or less, let's get in the middle of it all. I'm so glad you're here.
Hey y'all, welcome back to In the Middle. I am Vykky and I am so glad you're here. We are getting into the third and final installment of the Hidden by God series. This has been like such a great series for me as I navigate my own hidden season and just hearing from so many of you who are navigating your own or just coming out of your own. I can't tell you how encouraging some of the really, to me, testimonies have been, just hearing things in my DM and just real conversations about being sort of set apart and the transformations, the growth you are seeing in your own lives. So thanks so much for sharing and continue to share. My hope with this podcast is that it does create this community of people who just want to um, do and be better for themselves, for their families, for their communities, for their workplaces. I believe that we are called to even have influence in the corporate spaces and to show what it means to be a healthy, whole person. And I know we all probably enjoy and laugh about these memes we see on social with like corporate toxicity, but I believe that there is space for um, competency and kindness and decisiveness, but thoughtfulness. I don't think that those types of maybe personality types have to exist separately. I think there is a world where you can be a very decisive and strong and direct leader, but also have empathy and kindness and a gentle touch at the same time. And I believe that we're called to show up in that way. And I think in the hidden season, we are nurtured to grow in whatever influence and spaces that we're in. We are nurtured in that way to show up in that way. And that is a large part of our purpose and our calling. So before we get into the pod, I am trying to keep myself accountable by sharing the things that I'm in the middle of. And I have to say that I really thought, why are we like this? I thought I would be able to tackle all the cabinets in my home in one weekend. I did not. I'm not going to say that I failed because I should have never set that expectation for myself. What I will say is that I am still on the journey. And so just keep praying for me and all these cabinets. It is so wild that we've been in this house a little over a year. And in certain areas, it already feels packed to capacity. So anyway, that is what I'm in the middle of. Please make sure you guys share what you're in the middle of. It gives me inspiration, makes me kind of look around and think about the next project. Something else I'm thinking about, but I haven't fully decided if I'm going to invest any time or energy in this is I want to maybe work on calligraphy. My handwriting's a little weird. I may post something in stories because I don't want it documented forever. But I have like a cursive print mashup situation going. I don't know what happened. I think I started writing like this in like middle or high school, but it's stuck. And so I would like to, it is something that I'm a little bit, I'm not going to full on say insecure, but I don't necessarily like to be the scribe in any group setting because my handwriting is just it's a little off. So I've been thinking about maybe doing some either calligraphy classes or getting on YouTube University and learning how to, when I do want to write a beautiful card or something like that, just develop that skill. So anyway, that's what I'm in the middle of. I'm still tackling these cabinets. Can't wait to hear what y'all are working on. So let's get into this episode. So this is the third installment of the three-part series. In the first installment, we talked about my first truth was when you're in the hidden season, it is protection. The second truth is it is provision. That was last week's episode. And this episode is it's preparation. So if you haven't listened to one or two, head back there. You don't necessarily have to listen to them in order. And that's why I love this podcast so much. I fully expect people to kind of go through the menu of what's out there and figure out what serves them in the season that they're in right now. So you can listen to them in any order, but there are certain things that I will sort of call back to from the first episode or in the second episode. So your journey, but we are in the third season and it's the final episode and it's preparation. And I think at first blush, preparation gets a really hard rap, because when you're in it, it feels thankless, it feels long suffering, and it doesn't necessarily feel like you are growing and developing. And I'm sure if you've lived long enough, you know that when you get to the other side of preparation, whether you are training for a marathon, you are interviewing for a job, you are in marriage counseling to nurture your relationship, when you go through that preparation and that training, when you make it to the other side, it is really, really clear that every single moment you sent, every single moment you spent was worth it. And so, in the same way, when we think about the preparation that happens when we are in the hidden season, I am constantly reminding myself that God is using every single thing that happens. I don't necessarily believe that He sends everything, but I absolutely believe that He uses everything. I can't think about my preparation season without thinking about my long tenure in sports. I've played sports my whole life. I like to say that I'm like a weekend warrior now. I'm getting into pickleball, I think. It's fun. We just did a offsite with my department, and we played pickleball, and I had a ton of fun. And it might be something that I get into. So if you have pickleball ideas, any cute like little paddle ideas, let me know. Of course, I want the aesthetics. So anyway, when I think about the sports and the training and the years and years of practices and games and travel and all of that, I fondly think back when I was in college and playing volleyball. We would go to campus 2 to 3 weeks early for preseason. That was sort of preseason training. We'd move into the dorms early. And it really was a special time when really it was just us, a few other athletes. The football team was there, any sort of fall sports. They were already there on campus preparing for their seasons. And our coach would have us wake up, I think 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and we would run the campus, and then we'd go to the gym and have practice. And I hated it during that time, right? Like I hated it. She would drive in, I can't remember the kind of car she drove, but I can say, I think it was like a Trailblazer. It was black, and she's a very tall Jamaican woman. And I can hear her so clearly now saying, "We train in the dark to shine in the light." And I hated that so much because we are running. And I'm not going to speak for all volleyball players, but one of the reasons I chose this sport is that we didn't need a lot of long distance running. We had a small court, lots of sprinting, lots of starts and stopping, but long distance running was never my forte. And I understand we had to do that to build our endurance, but it was not my favorite thing to do, especially in the morning. Anyway, I just remember hearing her and feeling like this woman is driving in the comfort of her car, barking orders at us. And if we didn't make time, and this was me, you would have to do some over. And I definitely had to. Anyway, I won't flash back. But um, I just remember that time and how challenging it was. But now, I mean, I've been out of college years, and now I still to this day prefer to train, work out in the morning. So getting up at 5:30 in the morning to work out, it actually scratches this itch of stealing the day. I feel like, ooh, I cheated the day. Like I got these extra magical hours in, and I'm now being productive. It's so interesting that, like, now, all these years later, I now get it. I get what that almost stealing the morning away, training in the dark to shine in the light, in the same way as believers. We do a lot of these things in the dark to be a light, to be the lighthouse for the world. And so, yeah, we do have to be set apart and tucked away in order to, when it is our time, to be put up on a hill and to be a light and to be a connection point and a guide for those who are lost, who are trying to find their way. And if we only stay in situations where we are comfortable and it's known and we are seen, we we run the risk of being very shallow and empty, and we can't really pour in and nurture that next person. I really believe that preparation is mercy. And I think it's God's way of training us before He is trusting us with more. And so if you find yourself in this preparation season, this hidden season, where you see yourself going through the reps of it, count it all joy, because to me, that means that more is on the way. To continue the theme of preparation being the sort of training season, I really think when God hides us, He is training the whole person. He is training our mind, our body, our spirit, and our character and integrity. When you think about the physical body, when we carry more weight, we are lethargic. It's harder for us to do certain things. Sit on airplanes, bend down, tie your shoes, run with your kids. All of those things, those physical things are that much harder. When God is building our physical body, it's not for vanity. Like, yes, I want to look good just like the next person, but I believe the work that we are called to do requires us to be physically fit. And that doesn't mean in a very superficial way. I think that means like eating whole foods, eating really well, getting the rest that you need to restore your body, staying away from alcohol, tobacco, all of those things. And I am not shaming. I drink alcohol, so I'm not saying don't drink it, but I do know that it doesn't help my body, right? And so I think in the same way, when we are in this hidden season, especially when it is preparation, we have to be mindful of the things that we are doing to our physical body to say, does this help? Does this hurt? It is with you. You know yourself. This is not a place where I am judging. I say do whatever makes the most sense for you and the journey that you are on. But when I am doing 75 hard or working towards some type of goal, and you'll see this in any sort of diet or nutrition plan, the first things they usually tell you to do is cut out the alcohol. And so um, I would just say that when you are in this preparation season, this hidden season, consider the things that you need to set aside so that you can get to where you're going. Follow to the body is the mind. And yes, it's a part of the body, but there is something that happens to us mentally based on the content that we consume. So if we are just watching a bunch of junk reality TV, you'll probably notice over time that your thoughts tend to be more negative or more pessimistic. You might crave gossip more than you used to, versus if you're spending more time in the Word, if you're reading books to help you grow in your career or to help you nurture your family or relationships or some other sort of self help book or any type of content like that, you'll find that you likely have a more positive disposition and you have a more positive outlook on your future. The mind is something that we, especially in today's age of social and getting everything fed, spoon fed to you, it is so easy to go down a rabbit hole of really negative things that I candidly just don't believe the Lord ever intended us being able to consume. And so I am really disciplined about how much content I will consume, especially content that is negative. I sometimes don't know every single thing that's happening in the news because I also know my spirit. And I know that my spirit can't handle so much negativity. I do have a sensitive spirit. I've always been a sensitive person and was a sensitive child. And so I have to intentionally unplug so that I am still strong enough to navigate my day. And and candidly, that's a really great segue into the other part that the Lord develops and prepares while we're in our hidden season is your spirit man. And I've spent a lot of time across the last two episodes talking about discernment, talking about during this hidden season, don't squander it. Work on your devotional time. If you don't have a devotional time, again, no judgment, friend. Like, this is the time when you are set apart, set aside. Your world seems to be moving a little bit slower. This is your opportunity to build out that devotional time, however that looks. I am someone who, in the beginning, I used to believe that my devotional time had to be perfect. If you've been listening to the pod for any amount of time, I think you know at this point I am a recovering perfectionist. And so I would try to say, okay, I'm going to go to the dining table at 4:30 in the morning. I have to have my Bible, my highlighters, my paper clips, my pens, my concordance. Like, I needed all the things to have this devotional time. And when I would miss one thing, if I didn't do my whole, and if you know, you know, if I couldn't do my whole SOAP method, and for those of you who don't know, SOAP is you have your scripture, you have your observations, you have your affirmations, and then I think you have your prayer. And that was, I think, I would say like Believer 101. You sort of learn this sort of methodology to help you through your devotional time when you're building out that. And it is something that was, and I still go back to it, was really helpful, especially in my early days as a believer. But anyway, you get it. Like when I didn't have one of those things in place, I would feel like I didn't do, and I'm saying air quotes for those, I'm showing air quotes for those of you listening to the pod, I didn't do my devotional time right. Now, years and years and years later, I will spend time with the Lord in the shower, in my car, at my desk. For those of you who are listening that work with me, if you walk past my desk and my eyes are closed, I am not asleep. I am probably praying. And so it is just, I think that while we're in the hidden season, this is the Lord's time with us to develop us spiritually so that we are prepared for what the world is bringing our way. I think we have to be spiritually strong so that we can navigate and endure the things that are headed towards us. Y'all, I forgot. I haven't done this in a while, but it's worth including. I haven't been introducing what I've been drinking lately. I candidly have just been having water lately, but Alani knew. Still not sponsored. Alani, where you at? But they just dropped a new flavor, lime slush. I love the slush line. And this one's really good. It's like, I can't even, of course it tastes like lime in the slush, but I don't know. It's almost like, I don't know. Whatever it is delicious. It is refreshing. And I would actually love that actually frozen in truly slushy form. Anywho, back to the pod. So yeah, I think while we're in this hidden season, God is preparing us and He is building our spirit man so that we can run this race. I also believe that He is building our discernment so that we are crystal clear on who we should be in alignment with, the decisions we should make, how we spend our time, our resources. While you are being prepared, the Lord is really fine-tuning our minds so that we can truly be clear on the path we're supposed to choose. Lastly, while we're in this hidden season and we're being prepared, the Lord is developing our character and our integrity. It's not lost on me that you will see these stories of people's great climb to fame and then almost their fall back. And candidly, I think sometimes the world loves a good like crash out fail. And I think it makes for great clicks, but it actually breaks my heart to see someone who has on paper achieved it all and they lost it all because of poor character. And I don't believe that necessarily they started out with poor character. I think that it's almost like that analogy of a frog boiling in a pot. It's just you turn it by a dial, right? You can't turn it up on high because the frog will just jump out. It's just slowly turning up the heat. He doesn't even notice it. In the same way, I think when we see these public figures and they have this fall from grace, it didn't just happen overnight. It is one poor decision at a time that, wasn't that bad. Oh, I just told a little white lie. Oh, I just moved a little bit of that money to this different account. Oh, I didn't keep my marriage vows. It's just making these small concessions and they just get bigger and bigger. And depending on the circle that you have around you, they will make excuses and validate the decisions that you're making. And then you wake up one morning and you are on the headlines of every single major publication in the world. Those things don't happen just overnight. It is a series of really poor decisions and poor character. And again, I think the hidden season is grace and mercy because the Lord doesn't want to see us have this fall from grace. Because candidly, especially if you are an out loud believer, every time one of us falls, it proves to the world that Christianity isn't serious. Look at this person. Look at that person. Their divorce rate is just as bad as our divorce rate. And so when I think when these things happen and we see pastors getting caught up in scandal, or we see people who are just living their life out loud for Jesus and then they fall, it really breaks my heart because it doesn't make it easier to influence the world and to help to save souls. And I don't think that we should celebrate. I don't think that we should mock. I think we should truly pray for these people and pray for their character and pray for the people around them and pray for their courage to do the right thing. Even if that means there's a chance that they can be set aside, they can lay their head on their pillow at night and say, I did and said what I was supposed to do. And I think that when you are in front of the big lights, it's easy for you to compromise because you don't think the risk is there. While you're in this hidden season, I would encourage you to ask yourself, can your character sustain where your calling is going? So we are talking about being hidden. And I'm hoping at this point you're feeling like, okay, the hidden season is still hard, but I get it. I know it's going to be worth it. I know it's going to be worth it. For some of you, you're still like, no, Vykky, I don't like it. I feel overlooked. I feel like I'm behind. I feel like, okay, I'm going to speed round, lightning round some more encouragement that I think, that I pray will help you to feel like you're in good company when it comes to being in a hidden season and acknowledging the preparation that happens in the hidden season. So let's talk about David. David fought lions and bears before he fought Goliath. And he was hidden in the field for a really long time before he actually walked in his calling of being king. So, David, okay, hidden. Joseph, wow. You want to talk about the poster child of being hidden? And I mean also Grace, because Joseph, you're truly built different, my guy. But I mean, he was hidden. He nurtured this and he prepared to become a leader in the prisons before he was even in the palace. Like, incredible. And of course, Jesus. He was hidden largely for the first 30 years of his life. He spent 3 years in public ministry. So we're really in good company when we think about being hidden. And because I'm a girl's girl, I want to unpack the women of the Bible. Let's talk about Deborah. Her name is spelled different. It's my mom's name, but it's spelled differently. But Deborah, she went on to lead Israel into a war. But before that, she was under a palm tree, negotiating and settling arguments. In that hidden season, in that preparation season, Deborah built her ability to have authority, to drive leadership, and to hone her skill of discernment. All of those characteristics she needed when it was really her time, her public time to lead Israel through war. Let's talk about Ruth, my good sis Ruth. I mean, she went through loss and she leaned on loyalty. She made a decision to stay close to Naomi versus going back with her family. There's a great chance that Ruth probably thought, okay, I'm just going to die alone because my mother-in-law is going to die before me and she's in this foreign land, but she ended up being in the lineage of Jesus. Okay, Ruth, we see you. It takes so much obedience to do the thing that doesn't feel comfortable, especially while you're navigating such grief. But to me, that was just God's grace and a reminder to Ruth that she was never forgotten. And I'm sure she navigated this season where she thought she was, and she was hidden. She was hidden in the field. She was picking up leftovers, but she was being positioned in the same way that whatever you are navigating, I just want to encourage you that you too are being positioned for something that is coming down the line. Friend, I hope these examples are really helpful. And honestly, I believe that God prepares you privately for what he plans to do for you publicly. And we have to hone and nurture all of these characteristics so we don't squander them. The last thing we need is one more believer with weak character or stepping onto a stage that they aren't prepared for or ready for. And so, as hard as it is, do your best to just appreciate this time of being hidden. Soak up the opportunity to prepare in private, to get the manna from heaven daily, and to be covered by God's protection. Ultimately, hidden seasons are protection from what you can't see, provision for what you need, and preparation for what's coming. And that's the thing that I am most excited about. I know that greater is on the way, and I am encouraged by that. I am excited about that. I am motivated to keep pressing on because I know that greater is coming. And so, to close out this week's episode, I'd love to pray about what's coming next in this hidden season that some of us are in. Okay. Lord, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to unpack this series with my friends listening to the pod. I am so grateful for this hidden season, although day by day it doesn't feel exciting. Sometimes I feel confused. Lord, I know that you have gone ahead of me and you have straightened out all of the crooked paths. I'm grateful for your protection, Lord. You keep me covered and you keep harm away from me. I'm thankful for the provision, Lord. Fresh manna every day from heaven. I see it in the small ways where I get a block of time given back to me in my day at work, and I can kind of just have a bit to settle and process the day. And I see it in major ways when friends step in and help to provide care when I really need a moment to myself, Lord. I see it in the way that you're preparing me. You are giving me opportunities to grow as a leader, as a wife, as a mom, as a friend. And I just know that greater is on the way. And I am thankful that you are trusting me with more. I thank you for more. I thank you for an increase in your timing, Lord. And I thank you for each person that's listening. I thank you for their opportunities. I thank you that when you increase their territory, they are going to do it and nurture it with integrity. Their character will be sharp and they will give all the glory to you. It is in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen, friends. So I hope that this series has blessed you. Please share it with someone that you think is going through a hidden season. Y'all, I can't tell you how helpful it is when you give 5-star ratings on Spotify and Apple. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Comments are really helpful. Any engagement really helps other people find the pod. There was a young girl who commented a few weeks ago, and it really just blessed me. And so I know that we're reaching people that I don't know personally. And that's really my heart, is just like, how do I get... I really just want to get helpful, realistic content and things that I'm navigating to the right people. And so I thank you all so much for your support. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to In the Middle. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend and click subscribe so you never miss an honest conversation about life in the middle. I'll see you next time.